Hey guys, this is Project Starcraft coming at you with a cast of a game between of me on the Heart of the Swarm ladder. And it is a PvZ matchup, and the reason why I'm casting it is I want to go over the new Mothership core changes. So let's get right into it, shall we? So spawning in the top right corner, we have spawning in the red trunks, our red Protoss, Project Starcraft. In the bottom right side of the map, on Star Station, we have our blue Zerg, Babonut. Now, if you guys haven't noticed, one of the biggest changes with the Mothership core is the Purify ability. A lot of the also abilities of the Mothership core got adjusted quite a bit. One of the major changes is the Purify ability now. The Purify ability actually doesn't make it have a cannon. So what it does is it teleports it to the closest nexus, and it actually has a cannon on top of the nexus. And what it does is it'll fire with a 10 range, which is pretty decent, for as long as you need it to, but the Mothership core won't gain or lose energy. And also still costs 100 energy for it to be able to cast the Purify ability. Additionally, the recall function of the Mothership core also got adjusted as well. So instead of recalling units to the Mothership core, what it does is it recalls the Mothership core and anything around the Mothership core, and it recalls it to a nexus. So pretty much the nexus core is going to be offensive, especially if you want to bring it with you to a couple different things. One of the other major changes is that, as we see, just initial stuff, the biggest changes that I went gate first as opposed to a Forge Fast expand. The Mothership core also got a very large speed boost. It actually moves at a rate about 1.8 now, which is 4 times faster than it recently did. So it can actually move with your army pretty decently. So we're seeing a one-gate kind of play from Project. Or from me, if I wanted to be so bashful. What I wanted to kind of do is, I really wanted to play with the Mothership core, just to kind of see what kind of abilities it does. Also, one new kind of feature that they added to the Mothership core is that it actually has an attack now. So it has an innate attack. It does 8 damage. It fires kind of faster than or kind of slower than a Marine, and it does about 8 damage. So it does a little bit more than a tickle when it kind of attacks, and you'll actually get to see it in this particular play. So I'm going to actually going for Hatch first, adding on gas and getting a spawning pool. I place a pylon in the worst possible spot. Don't ever put a pylon next to the Zalago Watchtower, but I kind of threw the air of caution into the wind. I kind of just said, I want to play with the Mothership core, and let's see what happens with it. As we're kind of getting the game set up, and as you can see, I'm getting it on 1 gas, and I'm getting it even before I actually get warp gate tech. So I really want to see what the kind of shenanigans we do with the Mothership core. And as we can see at pop, we can actually see that its movement speed is actually quite significant. So from a 1.88 speed adjustment, it used to be at a 0.4. So as you can see, it's moving quite fast. So I'm beelining it towards the other Zerg's base, as Jaina is very interested to see what this cast does. And just as I get there, the Queen pops. So I'm still kind of rolling towards it, and by the time I get there, I have enough energy to be able to do a recall, or I'm about to have enough energy to be able to do a recall. So we see a lot of links coming in, but as we can see for this particular attack, the Mothership core, utilizing its new repulsor cannon ability, has 8 damage with a range of 5, and it's actually taking the Queen pretty well. Now the Queen moves pretty good off of it. The Queen is, focused on doing what it possibly can. There's another Queen down low, but as you can see, the Mothership core takes on a Queen 1v1. Now, I'm attacking Larva just for fun, and it takes a couple hits in order to be effective against a drone, but still, I mean, being able to get this in there pretty quickly, I'm able to do a lot of damage. And I'm able to get a free scout, no kind of issue. And we see with a recall, I'm actually able to go right home. So call that imbalanced if you want to. I think it's just fucking cool as shit. And it's going to be the cause of many a losing game for me, because while I was doing all that kind of fun stuff, my macro at home kind of slipped. But you know what? I was kind of nervous. Oh no, he's got a lot of lings. He's just going to work on my gateway right here. Nope. The Mothership core will be able to deflect that. So the Mothership core is a very welcome addition to the... This is me commenting on the actual situation. The Mothership core is actually a very welcome addition to the Protoss arsenal. It's definitely going to help a lot of really, really crazy things. It's going to help reinforce Forge Fast expanse against Zergs as well. So Zergs that do a 2-base kind of all-in, or even a 1-base all-in with a lot of Lings and Roaches, the Mothership core is going to be able to do a lot since it's air to ground. Now, it's still going to take quite a few hits to kill a Zergling, but, you know, they're not going to stick around that long. So we're going back to Bobinet's vision. You know, going to the unit counting station, we're at 23 probes versus 24 drones. A handful of queens. He's getting some spy crawlers, thinking he's about to, you know, die from the front. Going back to my vision, I'm a little bit sloppy on the macro, but I wasn't too worried about dying to stuff pretty quickly. So I actually opened up nearly all the tech routes. I opened up a Twilight Council, a Forge, and a robotics facility. Because from a PvZ kind of standpoint right now, I really want to start focusing on Charge Lot Archon. I think it's definitely something that can go, and we see some storms right here, and I think it's going to be very powerful in part of the storm. So I actually get 2 forges, one towards the front and one in the middle. I'm going to be trying my best to chrono out some upgrades. We see alien attack rolling in, and we're going to see how the Mothership core, in addition to some working on some units, is going to be able to deflect that. So you see the Lings running by, they try to run up the ramp. Force field quite a few in with me. Actually take out the cannon, but as we can see here, I utilized the Purify ability to actually attach onto this Nexus, and I'm pretty much two-shotting Zerglings right now, and I'm able to defend it. And as you can see here, I'm actually still attached to it. I can control the Mothership core directly and actually unattach from it, and I've got my Mothership core back. So definitely nice from being able to defend that altogether. And Bobinet's response is to go to lair and get a Roach Horn. So to the resource counting station, I'm at 29 probes on two bases. Bobinet's at 36 drones on 2 bases. And my tech's starting to come in line. My +1's almost done. My +1 armor has just been started. So we chrono boost a little bit. So I'm kind of taking this moment to kind of power. This game kind of is a long one, guys. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of Mothership core tactics. And as you can see, the Mothership core actually doesn't have that much health. So I'm able to even utilize it quite a bit, even without any kind of devastating, or using it to some sort of devastating effect. So I'm actually using it as a scout right now. So I'm not using it as a hallucination. And for the most part, the only thing that could really take it out, that I'd be really worried about at this point, is either Hydralisk, which I should be able to cut away from, or Mutalisks, which I'm pretty confident that he's not going to that particular route. And if he does, I'm going to be able to take him out. So I'm throwing down some additional gateways, and we can see I'm actually scouting, and I'm able to see exactly what I need to see. So the only thing I didn't catch was, I did catch, it was the infestation pit. So I kind of got a view of the actual base, and I was able to get out without taking too many losses. So we're getting to kind of a small transitionary period as my computer decides to hiccup just a little bit. Bobinet taking a 3rd base, about to come online. And that's a very definite late 3rd. So the Mothership core still scouting around, and you know, I can actually use this to clear out watchtowers without any kind of worry of having speedlings. So utilizing, you know, one of the concerns that I have early game is that speedlings are able to hold the tower, and unless I dedicate a zealot or two to it, and even the zealot's going to get taken out if a bunch of Zerglings decide to use it. And as we can see, I just got a 3rd coming online. And I decided to do a little bit of pot damage, and I'm actually able to take out the ground. And I decided to see if I could hold my own here, but with the shield damage that I've already taken, I actually recall out. And as we can see, the particular bane of my existence, the Swarm Host, is actually on its way up. Look at the fucking unit portrait. Isn't that disgusting? It's like a Zergling that became something more. more lane. So we actually see those turtles actually scuttling, and they're burrowing into the ground. And it looks like they don't have the upgrade yet, but I'm moving out, and I'm able to take this out pretty easily. And with some observer detection, I'm actually able to take out 3 of the 4 ghosts. One decides to go suicidal. And yeah, that's what you do when you're fighting against Zerglings. Pop Guardian Shield, because that'll definitely help in the long run. 2-2, about to wrap up for me, as 1-1 becomes started against Bobanut. Bobanut queuing 19 roaches and getting a Hydra stem, because Roach Hydra is the way. And we can see an actual slight move out here. We see some Zealots running in. I got +2 on. And we're moving in. And the Mothership core is actually keeping kind of movement with everything else. So it's kind of staying in the back. It's kind of defensive, which is exactly where it needed to be. But, you know, it's actually kind of useful. So I'm moving up for kind of a push, and I'm getting Storm behind this. So I kind of want to push in to see what kind of damage I can do. Take out some creep tumors, and we see some Zerglings actually roll in, and that's a lot of roaches right here, guys. So we see some charging in being done, and I actually see that he's got some defense here, so I really don't want to engage too far into that. I've got a pylon being warped on the left-hand side, so kind of taking that forward position. And the Mothership core really isn't having anything negative done to it. You know, it's kind of acting as a support role, and some points are buying kills. Taking out that creep tumor. Yeah, that's the way to go. So Storm is about to complete. We see some additional Hydras being warped in, and 1-1 is just complete for our Zerg player. Actually warping a cannon, and that was kind of a mistake, but Mothership core is getting a little bit antsy. So what I kind of want to do is I wanted to get myself into position to take out this third. While I'm going back at home, I'm actually taking a third of my own. And as we can see, we're actually rolling in. Some Hydras are actually trying to roll in, and they get obliterated. We get some force fields to kind of cut off that particular area. It doesn't work exactly how I'm hoping it would, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focus firing this hatch down. And with a little bit of control, we recall most of the units out. And an Archon Sentry, we're able to actually take it out. So if we go to the Units Lost tab, we can actually see that I'm ahead quite a bit. I've lost about 2,350 resources, and my Zerg opponent has actually lost more than double me. Kind of a small hiccup. 1 Hex is going to be able to allow these Archons to be able to get out. And the Archons are definitely the meat and potatoes of my army. 2-2's done and 3-3's about started. Bobanut's response to my particular push is to double expand. So he's taken the 3rd at his home, and he's taken the 4th and reclaiming it at his own. But right now, I pretty much got him locked down on 4 gases, so I know that nothing kind of scary can happen. And regardless of what kind of errors in play either one of us made, I was able to make sure that Broodlords were going to come out at a scary time of about 20 minutes. So I got a lot of Storm. 3-3 is about to be halfway done. We see some Lings actually running in, and they could have done quite a bit of damage if they actually did a run by. I think I reinforced that a little bit more a little bit later. We see the cows in space actually chilling over the space station. Look at that sky, it's just moving so fast. I'm taking the 4th in the top right and getting set up, and as we can see here, pretty much it's going to be a Roach Hydra compilation. We see some infestation transition being done, so it looks like it's going to be Roach Hydra Infester against a Chargelet Archon High Templar army. It's actually really good. We see some Lings actually running around doing kind of what they want to do. We see 9 Infestors on the way. They're taking out this particular pylon. They know that I've got this base. Again, don't build pylons at the Zelnaga Watchtower. Build them away or out of the vision if possible. But these Lings actually run home. My transition is to go into Colossus, which if I'm able to go Colossus late game, I know I did it right. And as 3-3 wraps up, I definitely want to make sure that I do some sort of push. So we see a Ling run by, and this actually stops me pretty well. Even if I did have a Zealot wall right here, this gaping hole is not going to be defended very well. So we actually see a Ling run by, and I mean, these Lings, they do a little bit of damage right here. About 16 Lings running in, but 3 probes. It's not really worth the exchange that happened. And plus 2 Zealots do a number on these guys. We see some Lings trying to run back, and we see the counterattack is slightly successful, getting a scout. We see a hive actually being started. And my response is thermal range Colossus with some shields. And I want to attack, so I really want to see how this particular attack goes. I have quite a few Templar, and I want to make sure that they're with the Mothership Corps. So we're getting everything lined up. We actually see quite a few creep tumors, but no really kind of stacked defense going into this. And we hear some really gross Zerg sounds. We actually see an Overseer locking stuff up. So I'm actually moving into position. My charge not to make a mistake, but my opponent eats those storms like Tic Tacs. Additionally, about 3 storms actually just sit upon this Zerg army. Mothership Corps going to town on what he can see, and some more storms are actually making all that stuff melt. And as my army actually dwindled down, and you can see it's like, did you make a really big dent? But 26 roaches are on the way, which is about 50 food. So, use a lot of storm, we can have quite a few units. And it caused them to have to remax on roaches, which is not something a Zerg wants to do. I mean, if you're going to max, attack, lean into your opponent. Don't use the maxed army in order to defend yourself at home. You need to be able to hold it, but as we can see, our banks are not where we need to be in order to quickly reinforce. So, unfortunately, this game's going to go on a little bit longer. Going to the unit counting station, we have 60 drones against 65 probes. My building probes, pro. It's like kind of a joke, guys. I need to build more probes. So we see some additional Templar being warped in. These guys are actually going to be part of my Templar army. So as you can see, I have 14 Templar. And I'm doing Charge Slot, Archon, Colossus with some small amount of Stalker support. And I'm throwing down a DT Shrine, and he's throwing down an Ultralisk Cavern. My plan was to utilize the Dark Templar as part of a counterattack as I'm pushing in, just to make sure that any satellite bases along the left-hand side of the map have already been taken care of. So as we can see here, Hive is done. We don't see any Spire on the way, so the Ultralisk Cavern is going to be Bobinet's kind of response, which is kind of a poor follow-up. I mean, if you look at the upgrades from the Evolution Chamber, you can see that +1 hasn't even been started. And +3 can be started at any time. We actually see +3 missile attacks being researched in Burrow. And we see 9 spine crawlers being built. But the actual, you know, I mean, we also even see the chitinous planing being done. So the Ultralisk are going to be able to tank a lot of damage, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not going to be able to deal a whole lot. There's a pesky Overlord over here that I decided to take out with this one Void Ray that I built out of here. I just wanted to make sure that I have the actual true Mothership available and ready if I needed it. So Dark Shrine's about done. I'm taking a 5th base in the top left-hand corner, and I'm utilizing the ability to get set up. Now, the really cool thing about this map is an additional attack path. So I'm actually attacking down this way, and our Bobinet friend has no idea that this particular attack is coming. So let's see how it particularly goes. We see Guardian Shield done, and we see a 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. The Chardos actually roll in. Archon's actually providing some splash damage, and we see some storms actually causing the Zerg player to have to quite retreat. I have never been that ballsy with Templar before in my entire life. 15 Templar actually providing a lot of storm support. The Archon, the remaining units, the Colossus are able to do a lot of damage. Look at those storms just melting all of the Zerg units right there. And this particular base just gets obliterated. Now we can see some fungals going down in the Mothership Core. That's a big fungal, guys. Some additional pushing in by our opponent as our 5th base is coming online, and +2 shields is about to kick in. So after we push in a little bit, I decided now's the time to go home, even though this Colossus... What is this Colossus doing? What the heck is this Colossus doing? Alright, it's finally going home. And I'm actually clearing out the way home, and unfortunately my Mothership core dies. But, quick to note, takes about 20 seconds to build when chrono boosted. So I utilize the retreating attack path to actually go, and we actually see about 12 Dark Templars actually clearing out the far left-hand side of the base. We can see a drone actually expanding at the wrong time, saying, hey, I actually need another base, so I'm going to put one down right here. We're going to goop it up with some creep, and oh no, didn't even have time to cancel it. So we see some air weapons. I was transitioning to carriers if I absolutely needed to. And we see the Dark Templar train actually rolling in. And if we look at Bobnet's vision, he knows what's happening. See the blurry box on the map actually doing some thing. Throw charge hasn't been revealed. I actually haven't seen that in Harvest 1 play quite yet. I think most people have forgotten it's even there. Good thing to note. Ultralisk range is actually 1. Dark Templars are melee, so if they're fungal, the Ultralisk can actually do damage without even being touched. Always some DTs going to town down here. This DT's actually in a great position and actually able to take on Ultralisk, so lots of poking, so 7 kills, 8 kills, 9 kills, 10 kills, and we're still counting. Drones only do about 3 damage to a near full shield, full armor kind of Dark Templar. And we have an Ultras finally clean up. So we see some units actually burrowed, and with a food supply of almost double our opponent GG's. So it was a fun transition, and it was a fun kind of game with the Mothership core antics at the beginning. I think it's gonna. I have a very strong feeling it's gonna be adjusted. But if you liked what you saw, please subscribe, and also follow me on Twitter and Twitch at Project 21. Thanks, guys.